The lockdown phase of the rut is over throughout most of the whitetails range. This week, we'll share with you a strategy we used to finally see a buck we call Butterbean during the post-lockdown.
Matt, that's a good deer. Are you on him? Are you on him, Matt?
I spent the majority of Missouri's firearm season with my father, who was receiving his third chemo treatment. After the treatment, he was doing well, and I had an opportunity to hunt. No doubt about the maturity of that big boy.
That is good.
See the chest on that one?
GrowingDeer.tv is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops, also by RECONYX, Trophy Rock, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Winchester, Dead Downwind, Antler Dirt, LACROSSE Footwear, Whitetail Properties, Bloodsport Arrows, Outdoor Edge 9, Flatwood Natives, Morel Targets, Caldwell, Hooks Custom Calls, Montana Decoys, Summit Tree Stands, Drake Non-Typical Clothing, House Lubricator Products, LEM Game Processing, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, Redneck Hunting Blinds.
He's behind it, getting ready to be behind trees. Do you see him?
While I was assisting with my father's health care, Adam had several encounters with the buck we called July. But during that time, he didn't see any other mature bucks and did see several fawns without does. This was a great indicator that that period of time was smack dab during the breeding season or the prime rut here in Missouri. During the peak of the rut, or when most does are receptive, mature bucks will find a receptive doe and spend 24 to 36 hours with her, not moving much, and then only move enough to find another receptive doe. Hence, bucks aren't moving much, and it's called the lockdown phase. Knowing that here at the Proving Grounds, most does are bred by November 20th. We were going to hunt November 22nd, so we selected a stand that was appropriate for bucks seeking does. We called this stand Boom Pond Power Line. We're not real creative with names. There's a power line that crosses a ridge right next to a pond. The magic about this stand is there's a road that comes up the ridge from the east right on the north side of the stand. So any wind out of the south, the deer can't see us because we're right on top of a ridge, they don't smell us, and they probably can't hear us. And even if they do hear a truck on the ridge top, they're used to traffic there, so it won't alert them. Right off to the side of the ridge, and the very edge of the power line, we have a summit ladder stand for the hunter and a hang-on for the cameraman. During years past, we've created bedding areas to the east and west of the power line. During the pre and post rut, bucks will cruise this area, specifically the two bedding areas, looking for receptive does. By looking down the power line, it gives us a window into basically a sanctuary where we can watch deer without being detected. Earlier this fall, we used prescribed fire and saws to remove the larger saplings out of power line right away. We didn't want any chance of having our view obstructed or a bullet being deflected should we get a shot.
It's November 22nd, and there's 2.5 days left in Missouri's firearm season. We've had a great year so far, but I'd like to tag mature buck with a firearm. This afternoon, I've selected hunting this power line right away. There's a bedding area down here, bedding area right beside us, and 2 food plots just back here to our east. So we're in an area of transition, and I think we're past the lockdown stage where most receptive does have been bred in this area, and now mature bucks are back in the seeking game. They've been getting a date for 11, 12, 13 days straight, most likely. They're not giving that up all at once, so they're going to start feeding a little bit more, but still looking for a receptive doe. Hunting these transition zones can be a great opportunity to catch a mature buck on his feet.
As Matt and I were getting settled in the stands that afternoon, I spotted movement about 150 yards down the power line. To my surprise, it was a large antlered buck, and I instantly started trying to get a look through the scope to identify which buck it was.
Are you on him, Matt? Are you sure? Okay, I'm gonna aim square up.
Matt was struggling to find the buck in the viewfinder due to the shadows and how well deer blend in with this type of background. But once he did, he quickly recognized the deer as a buck we named Butterbean.
Yeah.
Butterbean continues making his way across the power line and Matt finally gives me the A-OK that all cameras are up and running.
If he stops, I'm gonna take it. You're on him. Here we go, Matt. I'd like to square up a little bit more. There we go, right there. Bingo! Super buck.
Shoot. Awesome job.
Had to wait. No doubt about the maturity of that big boy.
That is good.
See the chest on that
Good
one?
looking deer. My God.
Thank you, Lord. Man, did the plan work or what, man?
Perfect.
Cruising
Perfect.
at what, 3:30 in the afternoon?
I think it's 3:45 right now.
3:45 in the afternoon, cruising, just like we said.
Absolutely
Man.
perfect.
Love it, love it, love it. And what did we just say? 2.5 hunts, 2.5 days of gun season left. Never give up, never give up.
Nope. That's a great deer, Grant.
Oh man,
Like I said, there's no question on that.
there wasn't no question on that one. You know what? It's not, this isn't the hunt. We cut all the saplings out of this power line. We burned it in years past. Cut the saplings because they'd grown enough that we wouldn't have been able to make that shot, or probably would have had maybe barely a hole in there. The hunt is managing all year long. All summer long, and making this bed and area you're seeing right here, clearing this power line, not hunting this stand except on a good strong south wind, southwest wind. That's what made that available. That's what made that happen. Year-round management just gave me a thrill. The shot is seconds. The management is all year long. That shot wasn't seconds because I was worried you were going to get on it. That shot was a little bit of time.
Yeah. He was cruising around, but man, great shoot.
That is a giant buck. Look at the chest on that thing. Oh my. That's what we grow, man. That's what we spend time out here looking for. There's kickers all over, big bases, huge chests, just, I don't know how many inches that is across. I'm just about speechless, to tell you the truth. I've had a blessed year. And season's only half over. We've got all through December and half of January to bow hunt. But my season, I've had a wonderful year. Matt and I took time to get down and celebrate the harvest of a buck we know as Butterbean. Butterbean's at least 5.5 and probably 6.5 years old based on a RECONYX picture. I'm always amazed at how much weight a mature buck can lose during the rut. This buck was much easier to drag just turning him around a little bit for the picture than I thought he would be based on his trail camera pictures, and that's due to all the weight loss during the rut. We know in captivity, in an acre or two pen at the research facilities, that a buck can literally lose 30% of its body weight even when they've got all the feed they can possibly eat and only chasing over an acre or two. Imagine the stress or the cost of a buck rutting up and down these hills in the wild. Butterbean was limping just a little bit, and I figured he'd been fighting during the rut, but when we got up close, we could tell his knees were scarred like he'd been pushed down. There's a huge scar on his left back leg. Butterbean had been a warrior, but somebody had given him a whipping. Love the coloration of this buck. Of course, there's a gland in here, especially in bucks. Those cells enlarge and produce different substances during the rut than the rest of the year. That's why you get this really reddish color, especially on a mature deer. But if you do that and smell your fingers,
you won't have any doubt that there's a rut gland on the forehead. We often show footage of bucks using scrapes, and you see them trying to rub the preorbital gland, or this gland right in front of the eye, and the forehead gland. We don't understand all the communication going on there, but it's certainly a critical part of their social structure. That communication, that social structure, is only exhibited in a natural way if you allow bucks to mature. Allowing the buck to get 4, 5, or 6 years old is really healthy for the entire deer herd. Even more than celebrating the results of a good management plan, I'm celebrating a good team working together. Not just us here at Growing Deer, but our neighbors and our deer cooperative. Passing up deer, harvesting enough does, working together to improve the habitat, which results in growing good deer and a healthy ecosystem. Even though we work on this farm almost daily, it was the first time any of us had seen Butterbean as an antlered buck. A portion of our strategy was based on maps generated by the software that comes free with RECONYX cameras. It's clear from these maps that Butterbean used the south portion of this ridge and in fact have been active in this area recently. The thrill of taking a mature buck drives me to do the habitat work throughout the rest of the year. But the hunt's not over because bow season goes to January 15th here in Missouri. Now I want to share some hunts from our pro staffers in the bluegrass state of Kentucky. About 2 years ago, we toured Norm, Doc, and Graham's farm and helped create a habitat management and hunting plan. Early during our tour of their farm, it became very obvious that they could significantly improve the habitat quality by aggressively removing multiflora rose, bush honeysuckle, and eastern red cedar. Because this is not going anywhere positive in the future. So we can set it back and restart the clock and salvage it for sure. Not salvage isn't the right word, but improve it. But it's not going anywhere. The plan included using a combination of cutting, herbicide, and prescribed fire to remove these invasive species and encourage native forage and grasses to fill the void. This would provide better food and cover. In addition, using prescribed fire in other areas would make the property more attractive to deer and turkey and easier to hunt. You can tell walking through there, I mean, that looks thick, but if we're walking through there, there's no problem for us to walk through there. That's not cover for deer. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a lot easier and less labor intensive than taking care of the other problem.
Yeah.
But if you don't, that other problem's going to spread and take care of the whole farm. I mean, it's just Norman, Doc, and Graham worked hard on implementing both the deer management and habitat management plan. 2 years later, based on camera surveys and personal observation, they report seeing twice as many bucks and a more balanced adult-sex ratio. Even more impressive than statistics, we're about to see the results of their hard work. During the first morning of Kentucky's firearm season, Doc and cameraman Dustin are in a redneck blind overlooking a food plot of Eagle Seed forage soybeans. During the late summer, Doc went through that plot and broadcast Eagle's broadside blend. So now there's a mixture of mature soybean pods and greens to draw deer to the area. This is an easy and effective food plot strategy, one that we use here at the Proving Grounds. The pods really attract deer during the cold days of winter, and on the warmer days, deer love the greens.
First day of rifle season. It's been a great morning so far. We bunch of activity in this field already. We've got Eagle seed beans and broadside mixed in together, and some we're hoping and get a big boy come traveling through here.
They picked this spot hoping to see a buck they call Big 7. Recent RECONYX time-lapse images show Big 7 using this plot during daylight hours. They almost had an opportunity at Big 7 last year, but unfortunately, he didn't present a clean shot. Not long after watching a lone doe eat on the side of the beans, they see a buck just behind her. Doc realizes it's Big 7 and his heart starts racing. Look at the shape of Big 7's body. He's clearly a mature buck.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You see him hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Big 7 finally down, Doc's a little taken by the moment.
I've been chasing for 5.5 years. You know, I found his sheds last year.
One of the few advantages of filming hunts is you can go back and watch the shot placement before taking up the blood trail. While it's hard to tell exactly in this situation, they're confident enough to take up the trail.
Holy cow.
I'm overwhelmed. You know, we work so hard, you know, preparing our place. And my son and I filmed this deer last year, muzzleloader. And he was on my mind ever since when I saw him live. And I found his sheds. And then now I get to get my hands on him.
He's as wide as your shoulders.
I know.
It's awesome. His bases are massive.
Oh, he's huge, man. Look at that. He grew a ton.
Yeah.
He grew a lot of mass. A lot of mass this year. Beans. Eagle Sea beans, baby.
Meanwhile, Norman's hunting a location they call Capitol Hill out of a redneck blind. He's watching a group of bucks on a distant hillside. There's a good buck in the group, and Norman recognizes him as a buck they call Double Barrel. They call him Double Barrel because he has double split brow tines. But the buck's at over 350 yards, and Norman wisely gives him a pass. As the morning went on, they have deer after deer parade through the plot. Suddenly, there's some doe scrambling in the cedars. Norman gets ready, hoping there's a buck in tow.
Looks at him. Hey! Mule kicked. Go down. Go down, go down, go down. Just went down. He's kicking right there. What just happened there, Noah? My heart's about to jump through my chest. Oh, it's been a long time. And we cut a bunch of cedars. We've made bedding areas. We're setting a transition spot in between food, cover. First day. First hour and a half. We've only seen, it's been a slow morning, we've seen about 50, 52.
Oh, geez. You covered up.
Oh, it's been great. It's been great.
Covered up 360.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the footage. I think it's going to be pretty nice. It's just a fantastic morning, fantastic friends, but Nikon did its job. The new Deer Season XP is just phenomenal. Laid him down. There was no track on this deer. So basically, just walk over and pick him up. What a great day.
Doc and Norman have their bucks, but what about Graham? With all the activity Norman had seen, Graham decides to go back to the blind they call Capitol Hill.
We're back out for our evening hunt. We're sitting in the same redneck that we were this morning. We saw a lot of deer activity, so it'd be crazy to go anywhere else. 50 degrees and temperature's going to be dropping this evening. It's going to get down to freezing tonight, so deer should be up moving on their feet again. Should be a great night.
Deer were in view all morning and the excitement was building. Eventually, they heard a loud grunt just below the blind. Seconds later, a large buck steps out. This might be Double Barrel at just 50 yards.
heart is about ready to come out of my chest. We just heard a grunt right down here. What's that, 50 yards?
Yeah. Get a shot with the bow just about.
Yeah, doe popped out at 50 yards. I'm glad it was at 50 yards because I was shaking so bad.
Nice job, brother.
Dude, thanks.
Welcome, baby.
Oh my gosh. Dude, this is double. I can't believe it, man. What a stud. Management plans coming together. We're seeing more deer numbers I don't know how many deer we saw this morning. I mean, deer sightings are going up. Habitat's getting, it's better. Deer don't get like this without good nutrition and good habitat. That's a fact. I can't get my fingers around his bases.
Giant.
I can't. It's double split brows. That's why we call them double barrel. Split brows on both sides. I'm gonna say he's above 200.
Yeah, just a touch. What a great opening weekend for our friends in Kentucky. They did a great job of implementing the plan, creating much better habitat and a much easier place to hunt. After the shot, Graham wanted to check out how the Deer Season XP performed on double barrel.
Deer Season XP right there. Just destroyed it. We'll say it went in this side, came out that side. Buy them, they're worth it.
Congratulations, guys, for a great opening weekend. Firearm season's now closed here in Missouri, and we're preparing for the late archery season. One of the best tools during the late season to attract mature bucks is quality food. And a hot zone electric fence is a great way to ensure there's quality food near your bow stand. The fence simply keeps deer from browsing on the forage all summer long. So in this case, Eagle Seed forage soybeans can produce the maximum amount of pods. Soybean pods are tasty and super high in energy. So in those cold late winter days, bucks are gonna go to that food source. Just a few feet away from the fence, the deer have already removed almost every pod from these beans. This is a great technique whether you have 5 or 500 acres. Allowing forage to grow without the damage of being browsed on and then making it available when you have time to hunt is just about a surefire way to seeing deer in front of your stand. We created a gap in the side of the fence closest to the blind. It's important to go make sure the power is back on the fence. If it's not hot, deer will quickly get accustomed to jumping the fence. We don't want that for now or future seasons. But with the fence being hot, they'll funnel right through here, providing us a very clean shot. We will share with you the results of hunting near these plots in future episodes. But if you don't like waiting for the next episode, we post what we're doing daily on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Whether you're tagged out or still hunting, I hope you take time to enjoy creation. But more importantly, take time every day, slow down, and listen to what the Creator is saying to you. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.